playing catch up. Richmond's morning news keeps you on your way. 8 a.m. Now win the day.
All right, time to win the day. 8:03 this morning on News Radio WRVA. Appreciated it. More text messages coming in. I think we hit a nerve on what brings you joy. Today's the National Day of Joy, pointed out by the saltiest person I know, Super Dave. Is that bad, Dave, that I keep telling everybody how salty you are?
Yeah, well, if the shoe fits, go ahead and wear it. I wear it with pride.
He wears it with pride. But today is the day of joy. So what brings you joy? 833-804-1140. It's interesting. Not one person has repeated what somebody else has said for what brings them joy. That's very interesting. What brings you joy? Because we all want to be happy, but what brings us joy? That little spark of joy that puts a smile on your face, just makes things better. What brings you joy? I'm fascinated now by the responses. So if you want to participate, please, 833-804-1140. All right, can we just make the high-level executive decision? That's going to be the 933 experiment. I wonder if anybody will repeat what somebody else said. Like these two people, this brings them joy. Everybody's been different. First cup of coffee on the back porch, listening to the birds sing. Garden brings me peace and serenity. Somebody said listening to you suck at your job brings me no. He said that's why I was canceled in my others. There's some pretty good ones this morning. So what brings you joy? 833-804-1140. Let's take a look at Richmond's morning news brief so you have everything you need to know. If you don't wake up with Richmond's morning news, you're behind and you're playing catch up all day. Start with us and you're ready to win the day. So let's get to Richmond's morning news brief. Here's story number one. A big day. Zoran Mamdani, the guy who's got a perpetual grin like the Joker. Right? Have you ever noticed? Have you ever seen him without a huge grin on his face, just like the Joker? Anyway, he's not joking today. He ran the table. The Democratic Socialists are taking over in New York.
Number one.
That's 3 big wins in 3 congressional House primaries by far-left candidates endorsed by Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani. For Mamdani, it solidifies his power in the Democratic Party and underscores the fact that he imposed major losses to the Democratic Party's establishment. In New York 13, Espaillat, the chair of the Hispanic Congressional Caucus, loses his seat to Mamdani-backed Democratic Socialist Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier. Chevalier wants to abolish ICE in prisons and says all deportations are wrong, even for convicted murderers. She led anti-Israel protests at Columbia University.
Wow. So for those of you who said, hey, let Mamdani, we'll see what happens to New York. No, you need to step up and stand up and pay attention. The Democratic Socialists are gaining. I don't know how. Well, I do know how. I've got an idea how. In fact, it's something I'm going to talk about. I'm going to fill in at Philadelphia at our sister station, WPHT. I'm going to fill in on Thursday and Friday. One of those days, I'm going to do a whole download with them. It's more like what Jeff Katz does in the afternoon. I'll do it in Philadelphia. And a big question I'm going to ask is, how did the generation that gave you Reagan and Alex P. Keaton raise this generation that's voting for communists? It's amazing. But I'm telling you, if you're a Democrat, your party is now being taken so far to the left, they might leave you on the beach. Anyway. That's our big story of the morning. Story number 2. We thought the Virginia budget, done deal. Watched them vote. Everybody high five. All right, school's out for summer. See you next time. Nope. They got to come back on Monday. They didn't finish the job.
Number 2.
Virginia, we finally got a budget. Guess what paid the price when they chose to nudge it? They found a brand new piggy bank to raid. Now everybody's cheering for the deal they made. Portsmouth Lucas got the money she sought. Data center diva got the deal she bought. Amazon Don says it's all fine and grand, but nobody's sure where it's hitting the land. Down in Richmond under Capitol lights, they're counting up billions in those late night fights. One says spend big, one signs checks, one says hold on, who's feeling the effects? Virginia, we finally
got a budget, but apparently not good enough. So when we talk with Tom Garrett, member of the House of Delegates, joins us on Tuesdays on the program. Always something interesting to say. Pointed out, they kind of gave everybody this budget on Friday, asked us to vote for the beginning of the week on Monday. Yeah, that's real transparency there, folks. You can go through that huge thing that's about as tall as, I don't know. But apparently they didn't go over it with the governor because she's got amendments. And listen, I got a Democrat in the governor's mansion. I got a Democrat speaker. I got a Democrat Senate. And you people can't get this together. They have to bring back the General Assembly to vote again. Talk about just incompetence and an inability to lead and govern. All three parts of this are all Democrats, and you still can't get your act together. Ugh. Can I say that one more time? Ugh. Anyway, let's see. Next on our agenda, story number 3. Major League Baseball backed down after the MLB players for the San Francisco Giants wrote Bible verses. Major League Baseball is going to drop the hammer on them, and then Josh Hawley and a committee in the Senate say, not so fast, Major League Baseball. That's the third big story of the morning.
Number 3.
Okay, so in case you missed, I didn't really talk about that this much. Giants had Pride Night, something that every team does in Major League Baseball except for the Texas Rangers. Players were given rainbow caps to wear. A couple players said, I don't know about that. One said, I'm not wearing it. 3 others wrote a Bible verse on the front of their cap. Major League Baseball says you are not allowed to write anything on your caps. You're not allowed to do any of that, although they do let it slide every now and then. But when these players did it, they dropped the hammer on them and they threatened them, and there was a big kerfuffle. Well, then people stood up and said, wait a minute. Why is it that they can't express themselves? And now Major League Baseball completely backing off after Josh Hawley said, hey, let's bring the commissioner in. I'd like to have an answer. I'd like to have a word with you on why you won't let these players have religious freedom and talk about their faith and have public expressions of this. Major League Baseball backed down and said, no, sorry, we're not going to do it. Folks, I'm telling you, cancel culture is still there. We have to be careful of it. But then it's also the thing is it hypocritical for the Giants players to put the Bible verses on their caps? Because the same people that think, yeah, that's a great thing, were also mad when Colin Kaepernick took his opportunity to take a knee. It's something we'll discuss coming up here on the program or in the next couple of days on Richmond's Morning News. All right, so that's story number 3. Story number 4, World Cup update. Oh, boy, yesterday I talked to my brothers, like, are you going to watch the World Cup? I said, no, I'm going to take a nap. And I can't believe I missed all of this.
Number 4.
Boring moments in sports. Yesterday during the World Cup, England was heavily favored to beat Ghana. The pregame hype.
This stadium is going to be loud.
Now it's a real thing. It's rock and roll.
It was actually more like schlock and droll as the game ended in a 0-0 tie. Maybe while those fans are in Boston, they can go to a Red Sox game. Because they're losing too. Join us next time for Boring Moments in Sports.
How would you feel if you traveled all the way to the United States of America to see World Cup action, and you spent all that money to get a ticket, Super Dave, and you roll into the venue, you're all excited, you're heated up, you've been out there pre-gaming, you show up, and somebody has to wake, hey, Dave, wake up, game's over. What happened? Nobody scored.
Well, that's why they have riots in Europe during those games, because there's nothing else to do.
Hey, Rich, what do you? Hold on a second. Just give me a couple more minutes. Rich, wake up. What? Okay, what happened? Who won? You didn't miss anything. No one scored. How can do I get my money back on something like that?
That's just sports.
No, it's not. It's soccer.
That's just the way.
No.
I've been to 0-0 games and other sports.
In what?
Oh, hockey.
No. A 0-0 game.
Yeah. It didn't end that way. It went into overtime.
Right. So you had a okay.
So
that's
I
not
went there and saw one goal.
Okay, but at least you got one goal.
Yeah, well, that's still. You go for the atmosphere. You go for the fun. You go for the camaraderie.
Well, then you should go to a nightclub or Vegas or Disney for that.
Well,
I don't need to
do that too. That's a lot more expensive, even with today's prices.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, that's our fourth big story of the day. We went to a World Cup game and nothing happened. But at least they had ranch dressing for the chicken fingers. All right. Story number 5 today is the National Day of Joy.
Number 5.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, 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 joy.
What in the world is that? Where did you find that?
Why did you never watch Ren and Stimpy?
No.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you watch?
Yeah, it was big in the 90s when
No, I remember.
all the stoners would get stoned and just like everybody
again why I didn't watch it.
Just like everybody was getting stoned and watching SpongeBob SquarePants.
I thought that was a kid's show.
Well, they both are.
Is that like a psychic? Like if you ever
Ren and
watch
Stimpy's a little more, isn't quite a kid show, maybe. But
Phineas and Ferb, is that one?
yeah, my nephew used to watch that all the time.
What's the one with the doctor, the evil doctor that takes him? Oh, my son used to watch it.
An evil doctor.
There's an evil I don't know what it was. Okay, but you know what? Talk about ones that people would get high and watch. If you ever go back and watch on YouTube some of the kids shows we had when we were little?
Oh, H&R Puff and stuff.
Puff and stuff. HR.
Yeah,
Puff
yeah.
and
There's
stuff.
no way.
Who's your friend when things
Yeah,
get rough?
Yeah, whoever created those shows, there's no way they weren't
my
on
gosh.
LSD or something.
Or Land of the Lost.
Yeah, I haven't seen that show in quite a while.
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, I was in love with that little girl.
Oh, with
When
the
it was-
pigtails?
yeah.
The blonde with the pigtails?
She still looks exactly the same today.
But you know what? I always thought that it was just a bad show because Dad left. Uncle shows up to replace him. Dad doesn't come back and get me. I'd be mad.
And they went back in time by just going over a waterfall in a raft.
Yeah, which terrified me of water rides at amusement parks. Anyway, what brings you joy? 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. Send us a text message.
Pearson.
Send us a text message. I'm fascinated because everybody has something different. Today's program is brought to you by our friends at Pearson.